everyone, it's Sharonda from Payorwait, and today I'm going to be reviewing and recapping House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 2. You guys, just to let you know, I was able to view this episode before it aired, so before you guys go to that comment section, before you get your fingers nice and ready to start typing, this is what they said on the inside the episode. Sharonda, did you not watch it? No, I didn't, because we didn't get access to that. I'm happy you were able to see it before me, but before you just start typing something, because I know you want to type it, don't do it. All right, but overall, my thoughts about this week's episode, the girls aren't giving. Okay, episode 1 and 2, yes, there's something crazy that happens at the end, and then for some reason every single episode so far has ended with Allison getting her litter box moisturized. I just don't know why we're reserving the last like 5 to 10 minutes of the episode for something crazy to pop off. I kind of want, just give me a little more razzle dazzle throughout the course of the episode. I mean, I love appetizers, but you guys have given me 2 appetizers in a row. It's time for us to get to the entree. All right, it's time for us to speed it up a little bit. I know we got to set things up, and I do like that we're kind of getting this set up to Harrenhal. If you guys have read the book, you kind of know what's going to happen. I'm excited to see the aftermath of what happens in Harrenhal, but yeah, like, let's get to it. Chop, because y'all sure don't be giving us, this ain't no 22 episode season, so we don't really have time for filler episodes and this random last 5 minutes of the episode setup. We just don't have time for you guys. I'm just saying, let me know in the comment section below, what are you thinking about the first 2 episodes? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you feel like it's going a little bit slow? Let me know in the comment section below. But for the sake of this review and recap, we're going to split this between what's happening at King's Landing, what's happening at Dragonstone. So I actually do want to start with what is happening at Dragonstone. So we know at the end of last week's episode, Rhaenyra went through her grieving of losing Lucerys, and she basically said she wants Aemon. Okay, you took my son, I'm gonna take your son. So she wants Aemon's life for Lucerys's life. But for some reason, I'm still perplexed as to why Daemon decided that he was gonna leave that job in the hands of a rat catcher and just a random hater of the Hightowers. It still doesn't make sense to me. The math is not mathing, Daemon. I don't know what your thought process was behind it. You should have did it yourself. I'm just very disappointed, Daemon. Not that I expect the most out of you, but when it comes to killing people and being successful and getting someone killed, I just feel like that's something you should excel at. You should be like in the top percentile, okay? Like when they say like knows how to kill people, it should be Daemon's name first in that book. I still don't understand it, okay? So Rhaenyra is given the information from her council of what is happening, how they have the procession of how they're saying that Rhaenyra is responsible for the death of Jaehaerys. And so she's just kind of like, now y'all know they out here lying, right? Like y'all gonna tell them they lying, but her council is sitting here like, I mean, girl, we thought you did it. And I was just like, now, Rhaenyra, if your whole council thinks that you were behind this, I think it's time to find a new council. And we definitely should have started with, oh, dude, he should have lost his tongue for sitting up here talking that smack, trying to make it seem like she was a liar, okay? You lucky Rhaenys was like, mind yourself, okay? She said, check yourself, because you talking out the side of your neck, and I don't understand why you're still talking, all right? So all she has to do, and I love this scene where they're having this conversation, and Rhaenys just looks right over at Daemon, and she's like, I know his raggedy behind has something to do with it. I could just look at him right now and just that little smirk on his face. I know he has something to do about it. And then before Rhaenys can even look at Rhaenyra to be like, look at your raggedy husband over there, because I think if you look at your raggedy husband, then you will understand what's happening. But before she could even look at Rhaenys, she looked at Daemon and she was like, this raggedy hoe. I should have known he had something to do with this, okay? And so then they have a private conversation. They get into an argument, and basically she was like, Bish, I know it was you. I know it was you. So what made you do it? Like, what was your thought process behind this? Is this your last desperate attempt to like cling at the throne? And they get into this whole discussion of, you know, Daemon's like, she was just like, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. Nobody has ever trusted you. My daddy sure as hell couldn't trust you. So like, what are we doing here? Okay, I'm not a little girl anymore. I got my own I got a whole kingdom to run. I don't have time to deal with your raggedy behind and you plotting to do things in my name, behind my back, without my consent. So like, what's going on? Do you accept me as your ruler? Okay, let me have a conversation with my future husband and be like, do you accept me as your ruler? Because that's what's going to be in my wedding vows. I'm going to be like, do you accept me as your ruler? That's besides the point. But we're saving that for the wedding vow. So They go into a back and forth. Damon's offended because he was like, girl, wasn't it I who let you live? Do you remember when you were a little girl and I could have killed you? I could have killed you when you came to get the little dragon's egg. Do you remember that I was the one who put the crown upon your raggedy head? Did you forget that I did that? So they're just going in back and forth and like, I did this and I did that. And I'm just like, guys, we got a whole like war going on. Like, let's just chill out for a moment. I know he raggedy, he did you wrong. Would you kind of need Damon to go fight for you? So Damon basically, she calls him pathetic because like who kills a little kid, like a 3-year-old who just thinks like, oh yeah, I'm gonna kill a 3-year-old. That's just so disrespectful. And so Damon is upset. And so he walks away, he gets on his dragon, he leaves. Hopefully he's going to Harrenhal, which is what he was supposed to do to raise an army in her name. So let's hope that that's what he is on his way to do. But like she told White Worm, he could be gone for a week, a day, forever, because I don't care. I don't care what he got going on. And we see as she's having a conversation with Bela, Bela comes in and she tells Bela that she wants her to take her dragon and basically keep a watch on King's Landing, which I find interesting because, you know, her other Jacaerys asked to do this and she was like, no, which I get, you have to protect the heir to the throne, but still you gonna send my girl Bela, that's what you gonna do, and see what y'all got. Y'all was sitting up here in the comment section last week talking about Bela didn't say not one word. She done said a couple of words now, and look at her. Now she gotta get on this dragon and keep watch on King's Landing, okay? Let our queens, let them just be quiet in the background so they ain't gotta do nothing. But it is disrespectful that we barely get black representation on these types of shows, especially in the Game of Thrones universe, and the fact that we do have it and they barely talk, I know it is a little bit troublesome, but Bela she got a couple of conversations in. She got a lot of dialogue this episode. So they said next time before y'all start singing something, just give us a moment, okay? We were gonna get to it, but we didn't see her sister, so let me know the other baby's okay, but it is what it is. However, we do see, while we're talking about black representation, we see that Alan got a little brother named Adam. Hey, Adam. Hi. I don't know why Adam's trying to like get his brother to go sell out with Lord Corlys, because it's like, he was just like, hey, sir, I know you're trying to make money, but like, we're really about to be at war. And who trying to do all of that? I'm just trying to come home, get my goat stew, go have a seat, chill, catch up with my brother, and you sitting up here trying to send me off to war, send me off to my death, all right? So I was kind of with Alan on this a little bit. We see that Rhaenyra ends up having a conversation with White Worm, who was captured by Daemon and held prisoner. And basically she's the one who kind of set up him with the rat catcher and the F the High Towers do in order for them to go flub at their mission. They had one job and they couldn't even do that. And so she finally remembers who she is from seeing her as a young child, and they have a conversation and she basically asks like, you know, is there any other information that you have? Like, what else do you know? What else did you have to do with this? And she's like, look, just like I told your raggedy husband, I'm not in the middle of none of this. The only reason I gave your raggedy husband them names last week is because I was trying to get out of jail, okay? You got me up here prisoner, I ain't had no bath. Like, I could have stayed a hoe for all of this. And I know y'all act like I said that, but that's basically what she said. She's like, had I known that they was gonna burn my small business and they were gonna do all of this, hold me prisoner up in here, y'all got dragons flying around, y'all holding me prisoner, I could have just stayed a hoe. Cause like when I was a hoe, I didn't have none of these problems. I had food on the table, clothes on my back, and my belly was full. That could have been perceived in so many different ways, but we're just gonna keep going with that. But she ends up letting her go free. But as she is walking out, she is the one who actually clocks the raggedy traitor twin. But I don't know if she actually made it in time to go tell someone, or maybe she's the one who went and told his brother what was happening. I don't know, but we saw that she stopped them from like, hey, I gotta go do something like one moment before I get on this boat. So I don't know what happened, but I'm assuming that's what happened. But we get into a fight towards the end of the episode. The twin fight, the whole time, is the Spider-Man meme, because I was just like, who is who? Like, I really don't know who is who. And the fact that they were just fighting back and forth. But my man Eric, what doesn't matter because both their names sound alike, but my man who was on the right side of history with Rhaenyra, he did what needed to be done. He took out his brother, even though he like hit him in the throat. I thought he was gonna be dead after that, but then he killed himself, which I don't know if it was just because he couldn't bear to live another day knowing that his brother died by his hands, but he was there for Rhaenyra until the end. RIP, moment of silence. Eric, if I was drinking and not trying to be a bad bitch, I would have poured it up for you. But just know, you're a real one. All right, now let's talk about the Raggedy Hightowers, okay? So let's go back to King's Landing. So we see the episode opens up with the servants are being dragged out of their beds by the guards after they realize that Jaehaerys has been murdered. And so everyone's being brought downstairs. We see the bloodhounds like sniffing the jacket that the man left behind and them trying to figure out who was behind all of this. And so Aegon II, as we know, he's not taking the news too well. And then Aemon went back to the room, and I think he started to understand that they weren't there to necessarily kill his nephew. They were actually there to kill him. And so we see later, actually we can talk about that now, because let's go ahead and talk about this. So Aemon's in this brothel, curled up in a fetal position, and this is a perfect example on why we should not be bullying people, okay? Because you see what happens when you bully people? You have literally created a psychopath, okay? Because Aemon's curled up in a fetal position with the ladies of the night and doing some type of role play, but he was like, not here, girl, not here. There's too many people around here. But the fact that he is sitting up here doing all of this, even though he did say that he regrets what happened with Lucerys, like his anger got the best of him. And I like that there is a line in the episode where his Lady of the Night companion basically says, like, you know, be careful, because when a prince loses, you know, his temper, you know, those decisions affect the small folk like me. And so we see throughout the course of this episode where we have the guy who had asked for, who was building the armor, who asked for money up front in order to be able to like pay for food, pay their people, you know, because of this whole battle between Aegon and Rhaenyra for the Battle of the Crown after Viserys is passed. We see that there's a blockade. So the people of King's Landing, they're not being able to get medicine. We see that, you know, the man's daughter is sick, that where his wife said she had to walk 2 hours just to get a chicken to make something to eat for her family. And so we're starting to see how everyone's scared that they're not going to have enough food, they're not going to have enough medicine, that, you know, there's going to be complete chaos. And so we see how these decisions between Rhaenyra and Aegon, how it is affecting the people themselves, and no one seems to realize or really care, even though Otto's trying to like help them to understand, like, you have to do what's best for the realm and not for your own petty vengeance. But I don't trust Otto either, so like I take his words with a grain of salt. But I love that line when she tells him, like, you know, when you lose your temper, it doesn't affect you, it affects all of us. And I really like that they put that in there. So now we got Raggedy Allison. And I'm gonna tell you something, my tolerance, like my hatred levels for Sir Crispy has risen to like level 1000 trillion in this episode. When I say that he was unbearable, like unbearable this episode. So we see Allison Raggedy behind, she's sitting here crying, but I'm like, what you crying for? You crying because you actually lost your grandchild, or are you crying because you were too busy getting your litter box moisturized and that's why your grandchild died? Because the man that was sitting up here in your bed blowing your back out was supposed to be on watch. He was supposed to be on watch. I said they're not gonna stress me out this season. Okay, so she's sitting up there crying. And then Otto was like, y'all, like, girl, what you crying for? We got stuff to do, okay? It's gonna be a war. You got your raggedy son making all these crazy decisions. Like, you need to woman up. And she's like, Father, I have sinned. Bitch, we ain't got time for your sin. And we see even at the end of the episode, he was like, girl, I'm so sick of you. I'm so sick of your raggedy ass children. I don't care what you did. I don't care about your sin. I'm not no priest. You go confess your sins to somebody else. Because he said, leave me the hell up out of it. Because I've had enough of all of y'all for an episode. And so I just need to go just take rest. I need to go on vacation because I'm sick of all of y'all. Okay? So Aegon comes in asking the real questions of the episode, okay? He comes in and he throwing stuff around. I was like, I mean, that's fine. You lost your child. I can understand that. But he starts asking him the real questions, okay? And then I felt like I was on an episode of Maury because he comes in and says, Sir Crispy, what were you doing? Huh? Head of my guard, where were you? I was a bed, sir. A bed. Now, I said he was a bed, all right, but he was not in his bed, but he was in somebody's bed. Somebody's creeping in my bed, baby. Let me stop. Okay, so he's asking all these questions, talking about I was a bed. Allison looking all suspicious. it's a whole thing. I'm like, why has no one called them out? I don't understand. But then he sent me over to deep end when they were arguing about like who was responsible for this. And when he said it's the beach queen of the beach, what do you call her? The beach queen of bastards. And then he called her the smug aunt of Dragonstone. I was like, okay, now I'm team Rhaenyra, but I laughed for a split second. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Rhaenyra. I'm so sorry. Actually, I'm so sorry, Rhaenyra, because all y'all was out here killing people, so I'm sure y'all all in the same place burning together. Okay, so we see that Lord Larys comes in and basically is like, hey, we got the person. He had the child's head in his bag. And so, you know, I'll go question him, interrogate him, whatever needs to be done, and we'll figure out what happened. And they basically calm Aegon down because he was like, y'all, why are we sitting up here playing this like game? We know who did it. We know who was behind it. But they were like, sir, we got to actually like interrogate people. You know, let us get a little torture in, just a little something so we can figure out what really happened. So they calm him down. He agrees to it, but he's just over it. And then he was like, I don't want people to see me as weak. Now, Otto, this is probably why Otto lost his job. He was like, sir, you are weak. They already see you as weak, honey. Like, do I need to like list the list again? And he proceeded to list the things out. And then he gagged them because even he was just like, well, damn, like, I mean, you didn't have to say all of that. So basically, they end up doing, you know, Otto comes up with that deal like, well, we should still blame Rhaenyra. And we need to use this as a way to, you know, get you your strength back. You know, so we're going to do a funeral procession and we're going to have Allison and Helena, they're going to ride behind. And, you know, we're going to spare you, you know, since you're going through a tough time. We don't need you to look any more weak than what you already look like. And so he was like, and let it be on record that I love my grandson. And I said, do you, Otto, using your grandson's death as a PR stunt, as a political pawn? Like, okay, whatever. So Allison goes to tell Helena, you know what's going on, like, hey girl, you got to do this funeral procession. And Helena was like, hell to the no. And she was like, girl, I got to do it too. You think I want to do it? I don't, but it's something that we got to do. And she's like, oh yeah, by the way, about you walking in on me, getting my back blown out. And Helena just changed the topic because she's just like, bitch, I don't care about you getting your black blown out. My child is dead. Your grandson dead. And that's all that you worried about, hoe? That's not what she said, but that's what I was saying. But Lord Larys goes to talk to F the High Towers dude, and he snitched in like 0.25 seconds. I was like, I mean, could Lord Larys get a full sentence out before you just started snitching? And then he was like, are you gonna hurt me? He was like, no, but like this fool, like, and Aegon took him out, which I was okay with, all right? So now during this whole funeral procession, I feel like it was a missed opportunity because I truly thought before this funeral procession even started, I thought that Jaehaerys' head was gonna fall off the thing. When the wagon got stuck, I was like, oh my gosh, this little boy head finna fall off the wagon, but it didn't. But still, that was a missed opportunity because I truly felt like the head should have fell off the wagon. Then everyone should have been like, oh, and then Helena was gonna have like a whole episode, which I thought she was like gonna lose it because it was too many people. I don't know if she was like these peasants around me. Peasants be gone. I don't know what was going on with her, but she just wasn't having it. But Allison was there to help her, but his head didn't fall off. R.I.P. Jaehaerys. I thought your head should have fell off, but it is what it is. So, Aegon ends up seeing Helena. They walk past each other in the hallway as she's walking up the steps. He's walking down the steps, and he just like walked right past her. And I was like, damn, like, you just gonna do your wife like that? You just, you know, y'all both lost a child. You just gonna walk past her like you don't know who she is? Like she was a one night stand that you trying to get rid of? Maybe he just feels like he can't face her. Maybe he feels like it's his fault. But I was just like, wow, that's kind of like wild. You know what I mean? Especially given what she had to do. So Allison ends up asking, so Sir Crispy goes to the crime scene and, you know, he's just looking around. I was just like, I don't know what you're here for because you should have been here when all this stuff went down, but we know what you were doing. So he sees Allison and Allison says, have you told anyone? And he was like, why would you think that? And she's like, because ho, you always trying to sit up here and be absolved for your sins. You always want to be the better person. Take the higher moral ground, okay? So don't act like that's how we didn't end up smashing. So yeah, I thought it was a fair question. So out of his frustration, this is when I really lost it. So he goes to Sir Eric, and basically he accused him like, where were you? And he was like, bitch, where the F was you? You the one, you my boss. You at the top of the food chain. What was you doing the whole time? Sitting up here asking me what I was doing. Talk about your cloak dirty. Okay, we're a sign of purity. And I said, I know you effing lying. As soon as they, like, I had to like pause the scene because it was the audacity for me. The audacity for me, for him to question him, for him to bring up his brother on top of that. And then he tells him, you wanna make it up to us? Then you need to go and slay Rhaenyra. And I was like, why don't you go slay Rhaenyra? All it is because she wanted you to be a side piece forever. Like, this is just really, really, really wild. So he tells him to go to Dragonstone, act like he's his brother, and slay Rhaenyra. And I was just so annoyed by this whole thing. And so he, dummy, agrees, but I guess you gotta do what your boss tells you to do. So he agrees to go when we know how all of that ends up. But I was just very bothered by this, okay? So Otto finds out that Aegon and Sir Crispy basically decide to kill all the rat catchers. So since he said it was a rat catcher and he couldn't remember his name, they decided, hey, instead of like, I don't know, maybe keeping him alive long enough to ID the rat catcher, we're just gonna kill all the rat catchers because then we know that 1 out of the 11 people we kill has to be one of them. I felt Otto. I don't like Otto either. I felt Otto this episode. I know he was just like, these gotta be some of the dumbest MFs that I have ever seen in my life, okay? And I have been the hand to 3 kings at this point, and you have to be the dumbest one of them all right? So he was just like, y'all, I literally just did I literally Olivia Pope the hell out of Jaehaerys' funeral to put your raggedy behind back on top. And what do y'all raggedy behinds do? Y'all make this dumb plan that makes absolutely no freaking sense. Got people screaming in the middle of the damn courtyard because they son, they husband, whatever is up on this wall hanging because they were a rat catcher. Like, y'all are just stupid. So then he tells them the idea of what Sir Kristen sending Eric to go kill Rhaenyra, and he was just like, y'all got to be the dumbest people ever in life. And he was like, you're going to regret this. And he was like, give me your hands, or give me your badge, whatever the hell he said. And he was like, bitch, I know you effing lying. You think you finna fire your granddaddy? You think you finna fight? He's like, I said what I said. I said what I said. So he took the little hand, he threw it, he was like, give it to Sir Crispy. And he threw it at his feet, and then like Sir Crispy looking like, well damn, like, I mean, I wasn't trying to do all of this. And so he was like, you fools, you think that that's finna be your hand, and y'all finna, here, take it. He threw it at his feet. And so he goes to talk to Alicent, and he tells Alicent what happened, and then he said, I'm gonna take my behind back to Old Town. I'm gonna go with my family. Like, I done been banished from court, council. Like, I'm not gonna deal with this. I'm gonna go back to Old Town. I'm gonna deal with the last of your raggedy offspring that actually listens to me. And I was happy. I was like, okay, House of Darion. They like actually acknowledge it's Darion, but like I just remember as soon as they said, I was like, House of Darion. So he's going back to House of Darion. He was like, at least he'll listen to me. And she was like, no, actually, why don't you go to Highgarden and get the Tyrell support instead of going back to Old Town? Which I don't know what her thought process was behind that, but it is what it is. I'm just happy that they're acknowledging that she does have another child that we just never speak of, that we don't see. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah. So she goes and leaves her dad, and she sees Aegon crying. And I was like, oh, okay, she's gonna go comfort her son. No, her raggedy behind, she said, get somebody else to do it. She walked away. Cause who does that? Who walks out of their child? My girl walked in the room and she said, get somebody else to do it. And she snuck the hell back out of the room. Didn't even try to let the door close silently. Like, no, she didn't care that he knew she was there. She was like, I can't do this right now. So then she go to her room, and then Sir Crispy raggedy behind waiting for her. So then they get into some weird kinky foreplay where she starts slapping the taste out of his mouth, and then she gets her litter box moisturized, and the episode goes off. And then I'm just kind of confused again, because is this how every episode is going to end? I'm happy somebody's getting some, but I just feel like there are better uses of our time than watching the two of the most raggedy people on House of Dragon get it on every single week. Every week that they get to live, it just really irks my nerves. And I truly hope that Rhaenyra is the one to kill Sir Crispy. I want her to look him in his face, okay? And I want her to spread her, okay, let me stop. No, I want her to spread her legs and it's like, this is all you ever gonna want anyway. And then I want her to look at Alicent and be like, how does it feel getting my sloppy seconds, hoe? How does it feel? You will never be me. And then I want her to kill him and then kill Alicent, okay? Yes, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. I said what I said. I meant what I said. That's how I feel. But yeah, overall for me, the episode, it was fine. I mean, besides the Spider-Man battle, this stuff really happened. Like, the only thing I'm ready for is for Daemon to go to Harrenhal and do what needs to be done to get his queen's respect. I don't think he's ever gonna get her trust, but maybe she can get what little respect she can muster up for him. But yeah, I want more to happen. I need more to happen. Stop this whole last 10 minutes of the episode is gonna be the only cool things that happen. I want razzle dazzle. I want appetizer. I want, what do they call it? I wanted a amuse bouche. I want an appetizer, an entree, dessert, and a little dessert cocktail at the end for my episodes. Let stuff happen all throughout, all right? Let me know in the comment section below, what did you think of this week's episode? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you want more? Who are you most excited for? Who do you want to die? Alicent and Sir Crispy. But yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But those are my thoughts on House of the Dragon Season 2, Episode 2. As always, my name is Sharana from payorwait. And if you like what you saw today, make sure you hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with your friends, and make sure you hit that notification bell. And I love you guys 3000. And until I see you again, bye.